So without getting too crazy, I came outside to test this, KIZER fixed blade Magara, and surprisingly it did pretty good. I wouldn't say, it's an outdoors woodcraft knife, or sorry, bushcraft knife. It's not that for sure. Could it be used for that? Yeah, I guess so. But to me, it's more of a fighting knife. Just the way it leaned, and I'm not saying like, I did wind up cutting myself in my palm, but I'm sweating, so I can't keep the Band-Aid on. And YouTube doesn't like blood. So, but it's more of a fighting knife. The way it leans forward, it feels like it wants to be lunged. It's a really good throwing knife. Like, holy cow, is it good at throwing. Now, if you're gonna use it in the gas station knife fighting grip, I recommend using it with the blade facing out, because in this direction, that's how I cut my hand. I actually slipped down right there, whoosh, right down and got my hand. You can thumb cap it off, but in this side, when you have it flipped over to the other side, it just works so much better, for a reverse stab, as long as the edge is facing out, which is probably the way you're gonna wanna do it anyways, but just saying. But as far as lunging, poking, slashing, it works really well. It is nice and comfortable in the hand. It does get slimmer right here, in this area right here is also why I'm calling it more of a fighting style knife, because just the grip alone, when you feel it in your grip, it's not for bushcraft. You can tell that right away. This is not made for chopping. You're not gonna chop anything with it. You're not gonna be batoning with it, even though I did. That's not what it's for, and you can tell just getting it in the hand. And that's why you always bring Band-Aids out in the field. Not that I have a bad cut or anything, this is nothing, but it's just, so you don't get a little bit of blood on your clothes, and ruin a good pair of jeans. Anyways, so yeah, it does feel more of an EDC style, fighting style knife, which I appreciate. I like that. I don't think every knife needs to be a bushcraft knife. I think that this would be a great self-defense fixed blade if you can carry something this big. Obviously, it can be improvised, used for just about anything, but I think its main purpose and what it's going to feel most natural at is, is more of a fighting style knife, more of a combat style knife. Oh, and the sheath, man, the one thing is when I first got it, I couldn't even get it out of the sheath, man. It kind of got stuck. It's worked itself in now it's pretty good, but man, great sheath. Listen to that. There ain't no way that thing's coming out. Like, it's a really good sheath. And I like a nice, assertive click. But when I first got it and I put it in, I wasn't getting it out. Like, I was freaking out. Like, how am I going to get this thing out? But finally, I got it out. So, but yeah, no, very happy with the sheath. Now, the belt clip is a little bit, I prefer a tech lock, over this one, but this will still work. You can obviously, I don't know if you can see that, but you can rotate it so then you can carry it scout carry, or up and down, whatever you want, which is pretty cool because I do like versatile, sheaths that allow you to pretty much carry it how you want to. Okay, now that we are back inside, here is some of the folding knives. We have the TOWSER K with the Ultim scales. Now, what I find unique about these Ultim scales is that they don't have the micro milling like the other knife that I have. It does, but only on the inside by the lock bar, and I'm not sure why, but you can see the lock bar actually has the micro milling on it, but it's on the inside, it's not on the outside, so you can't feel it. So these are very slick, not slick, they're very smooth, but because it's plastic, it's kind of, still kind of, not, I don't know, sticky, not sticky, but like tacky, because it is smooth, like very smooth, like a marble. But because of the way the grooves are and everything, and since it's plastic, like it's not something that's slippery in the hand. Maybe if it was wet or something, then yeah, probably. But one thing that the TOWSER K is well known for is this insane action. They do ride on multi-row ceramic caged bearings. We have a sheepsfoot 154 cm blade steel. Look at that, man. It's crazy how smooth these things are, man. KIZER just does a bang-up job with their action. And you can actually see one of the reasons why. If you look, you can see the multi-row bearings right there. And I see how there's not a bunch of steel on top. Makes it very easy to drip oil into your bearings. But another thing is it takes off weight in the pivot. So a lot of the weight is in the front of the blade, making it very, very drop shutty. Now the next thing is this detent. Man, what a fantastic detent. When I first got to try, because you know the TOWSER K has been out for a little while, there's a bunch of different versions. There's a mini, there's a medium size one, button lock ones, all different kinds of them. But my favorite I still think is the liner lock one, just the regular liner lock one. I do like the small one too. But anyways, because the mini's actually really, really cool. You know, I'll just grab it. This guy, look at it, so guillotine. Like this thing is so smooth. It's also riding on the multi-row ceramic cage bearings. But again, the break of the detent on these, it's something that when I first experienced these, I felt like it was the best thumb stud action I had tried, you know, yet. And even still today, like when I get one in hand, you really feel that thumb stud action. It is really good. So that is one thing, you know, and aside from that, it's a fantastic user, you know, very ergonomic, nice and slicey, great blade shape for EDC. Let's get to the, oh, wait, I do have one little negative. I kind of wish that this was inset, you know, because, you know, you see how it's kind of tight between, you know, the part that touches the scale and the top of the clip. It's a little bit tight in there. I wish it was sunk in or just gave you a little bit more room. But other than that, I really don't have any real negatives, you know. Sharpening tool and plunge iron could be a little bit better, but you'll get a couple good sharpenings off of there. I've sharpened these things a bunch of times. The next one is the SHEEPDOG with a button lock, the large SHEEPDOG with a button lock. Now listen to this action, listen to the ting. Great sounding, or great acoustics. Now the blade, again, 154 cm. We have another sheep's foot blade, and the SHEEPDOG's been around for a while. There are so many options for this. You can get it in an XL, you can get it in the full size like this one, you can get it in a frame lock, you can get it in a liner lock, you can get it in a mini, obviously button locks, you can even get it in a crossbar lock. They have basically every type of SHEEPDOG. The only SHEEPDOG I don't think they have is a fixed blade, and I might be wrong. But anyways, really good button lock action, nice sound, great detent. You know, they've been pretty good at tuning their detents with the button locks, which is really good. That is one thing I got to give a lot of credit to KIZER for, is that they do care about their action, and they also, you know, in most cases, you know, make sure that they have a solid detent. I love this micarta. It's a very soft, almost furry-like texture. So now some people like the kind that does not patina. This is definitely the kind that will patina. It will age. It will get less furry, you know, the more you handle it, and it will get darker and darker. This will eventually turn basically black. So, you know, I personally like it, but, you know, some people like the micarta that doesn't get dirty, or at least doesn't age fast. This stuff will, but you can always clean it if you want to. All in all, super solid, reversible, deep carry clip, as you can see. This clip works great, and, you know, these things are super ergonomic. This is probably my favorite size SHEEPDOG, is just the regular size one like that. So, as far as the little neck knife goes from Dirk Pinkerton, I do have the micarta version. This one is now in carbon fiber. Very nice carbon fiber, by the way. And, you know, this can be used for just like a little utility blade. You could use it in the pinch grip, you know, just to open things up. Or you can actually put your finger in it, put your thumb right on top of those, the jimping, wrap your knuckle around it, and you got a decent grip where you could like score down something, you know, or slice something open. But its obvious intended purpose is to be a self-defense knife. You know, even the sheath is built for your finger to get right into that ring, so you can yank it out and use it as a punch dagger. Now you can also do the middle finger and use it as a punch dagger, but you know, it's super compact. It obviously, you know, goes around your neck, but you know, I'm sure you could fix this up however you want to carry it. But you know, it comes with the lanyard for the neck, which, you know, I'm not mad at it. I think it's pretty cool. it's, you know, it's not too big for it to be around your neck, so it actually would work just fine. You know, it's not gonna be too big and bulky, but it's definitely something that you could also just use as a regular little basic EDC knife or a little utility blade, you know, in a pinch. So 154 cm blade steel. I do actually like KIZER's 154 cm. I think they do a really good job with it. I've been very happy with their 154 cm. The edge came really, really sharp. I did punch a couple things with it just to kind of see if it would work. And you know, it does work pretty well. You want to you got to get that good grip. You know, if you get that good grip, it's great. In the heat of the moment, ripping it out, you know, obviously you could still use it. But you know, it's going to feel a little bit more awkward if you don't get it into a really good grip right away. But it obviously can still be used, no problem. And I'm sure, you know, in the process, you'll probably adjust your grip into that perfect grip, you know, in the scenario, if you possibly can. Now, the next one is the new MERCURY. Now, this is a micro mill. Listen to this. Very deep micro milling. Hopefully it'll come over the camera really well, but it is very, very deep micro milling. I love it. We have a titanium micro milled construction that is a clamshell construction, so it's just two pieces. Good looking titanium milled pocket clip and plenty of room under there. Then we have a flipper with an S35 VN razor shape. So this is like a Spanish razor, or you can call it Spanish tip razor, or you can just call it a razor because it is like a straight razor, and it is a hollow grind. It's a little bit shallow of a hollow grind, but it gets down nice and thin behind the edge. So yeah, it is definitely a hollow grind. It feels very slicey, nice chamfered spine, so it's not a sharp spine at all. Beautiful sharpening tool and plunge grind. I love how they did that. That's perfect. Whether or not you should use it for shaving is another story, but you know, I think it's kind of cool. Like if I was a barber, I would totally be carrying a pocket knife like this. But great access to the lock bar, very smooth on the drop. This thing is super snappy. Nice comfortable flipping action too. You can feel the detent pulling the blade back in. It's very narrow, very slim, but you know, just for light duty EDC, this thing would be great. Utility cuts, opening things up, you know, maybe a little shave here and there. You know, it's pretty cool. I personally think it's definitely interesting. I like it. You know, because I like the different, you know, I have tons of knives that are very similar to one another, and they're all very useful. And my favorite knives are the users, are the ones that are the most useful. But I also like, and I'm not saying this isn't useful, because this is obviously very, very useful, but I also like the knives that stand out of the crowd and are a little bit different, you know. So it's pretty cool getting a straight razor style liner lock, and it is a steel liner lock, by the way. The liner is screwed into one side, so it's a sub liner lock. So there's screws on the inside screwing it to titanium. Nice solid lockup. Like I said, great access to the lock bar, and yeah, very, very cool.